Hi guys. So I once posted a video on how people think depression looks like versus how it actually looks like. And many people thought depression looked like, sobby, sulky, sad. And when I posted the verses of how it actually looks like, well, I showed a video or a picture of a very happy person taking pictures, posting videos, and many people were in my inbox telling me that they resonated with that video. And to me, that was scary. That is actually what prompted me to make this video because I too was struggling at the time, but I was still coming to office, seeing clients. I seemed happy. I was posting videos, but deep down, I was drowning in sorrow and pain. Just like a 23-year-old who called me and said, "Hi, Sharif, I got your number off Google. I need to talk to you. My parents fight so much. I just want to end my life so I don't have to deal with it." And an 18-year-old who has reached out to me before asking for help because her stepfather raped her and her mother blamed her for it. Another person texted me weeks back telling me that three of her friends committed suicide in a span of 6 months. And a 16-year-old who got me off Instagram because he was being bullied both at home and at school. It was too much, and it was all because of his weight. And he told me that he just wanted to die and not have to endure it any longer. You see, guys, there is an urgent need to address suicide and mental health from young to all populations. So today, we are going to talk about depression, suicide, and kindness. But first, depression. Because you see, people tend to think that people die from suicide. No, no, no. People die from sadness. You see, on the outside, they seem happy. But on the inside, they are breaking down and battling depression. And depression is a constant feeling of sadness and loss of interest, which stops you from doing normal activities. Different types of depression exist, with symptoms ranging from relatively minor to severe. Generally, depression does not result from a single event, but from a mix of events and different factors. And some of the causes of depression are number one, we have the stressful life events and major life changes. These may trigger depression, like divorce, the death of a loved one, job loss, financial problems, trauma, abuse, isolation, lack of support, unbearable workloads, family history of depression, drug or alcohol use. And you see, depression is also caused by a chemical imbalance in one's brain, right? And then we do have hormones. Changes in the body's balance of hormones may be involved in causing or triggering depression. That is why some women struggle with postpartum depression after birth. You see, after hormones, chemical changes, the social and psychological changes of having a baby also do create an increased risk of depression. So do take care of the mothers, the new mothers. In teenagers, it's mostly emotional, physical, or sexual abuse, neglect, bullying, learning difficulties, family issues, medical conditions, body image, psychological stress, and we do have an important one. Parents, please pay attention. Learned patterns of negative thinking. You see, teen depression may be linked to learning to feel helpless rather than learning to feel capable of finding solutions for life's challenges. Many parents will tell their kids how dumb and useless they are on a daily, and the kid will learn limiting beliefs early on in life. Story time. Let me tell you a brief story. There is a single mom who repeatedly told her son how much of a burden he is because his dad left. This child blamed himself for the dad leaving, and he felt a heavy weight, by just being alive. Because now that was the mom's problem. She kept telling this kid, "Singa sakuzala, singa siwonabona. If I hadn't birthed you, my life would have been so much better. Now your dad left us. What am I supposed to do with you?" You see, this boy got so depressed that he committed suicide at 14. You need to be very mindful what you tell your children. Words have power. I was at we had gone for a charity drive, and we usually sensitize women, and one of the women put up her hand and told us that story. It was very saddening because we parents tend to tell children all these sorts of things when we are having a bad day, when we are mad, when we are angry. And in turn, children start to blame themselves for everything bad that's happening around them. And I also need you to note that some of the causes of depression are same for both teenagers and adults. And also, to receive a diagnosis of depression, you must have 5 depression symptoms every day or nearly every day for at least 2 weeks. You guys, depression is a real mental illness. Depression is real. Yet when many people speak out about it, you think they are pretending. Men, women, children, they all struggle with it. Those who live with it cannot simply decide to stop feeling depressed. That's not how it works. Unlike typical sadness or worry, depression can feel all consuming and hopeless. I have battled depression before. So let me try to explain how it feels like. Number 1, there is no pleasure or joy in life, right? A person with depression may not enjoy things they once loved and feel like nothing can make them happy. Even with people around, people battling depression feel so lonely. Number 2, concentration or focus becomes harder, way harder. Making decisions, reading, or watching television can seem taxing when you're depressed because people cannot think clearly or follow what is happening. Yeah, depression can do that to you. Number 3, everything feels hopeless. Depression can make people feel that there is no way to feel good or happy again. Number 4, self-esteem is often absent. People with depression may feel like they are worthless or they feel like they are failing at everything. They may dwell on negative events and experiences and cannot see positive qualities in themselves. Number 5, sleeping may be difficult. Falling asleep at night or staying asleep all night can feel nearly impossible for some who have depression. A person may wake up early and not be able to go back to sleep. Others may sleep excessively but still wake up feeling tired or unrefreshed despite the extra hours of sleep. Number 6, energy levels are low to non-existent. Some people have difficulty getting out of bed or feel exhausted all the time. Even when they are getting enough sleep, they may feel like they are too tired to do simple daily tasks. Number 7, food may not seem appetizing. Some people with depression feel like they do not want to eat anything and they have to force themselves to eat. Now, this can result in weight gain. Craving for comfort foods. That's another one. Although some people with depression do not want to eat, others find solace in food. They can overeat and crave comfort foods, leading to weight gain. Another one is aches, pains may be present. Yes, some people experience headaches, nausea, body pain, and other pains with depression. There is sexual dysfunction, and some people feel extremely anxious, like, Debunking all the time. And others have thoughts of self-harm or suicide. And others give up on self-care completely. They won't care about personal hygiene because they don't see the point for it. Like, what's the point? They don't even feel the need. If you have noticed some of these signs with your children or loved one, please note that you do not have to be a mental health professional to help. Many people mistakenly believe that being depressed is a choice or that they just need to have a positive attitude. Like, man, snap out of it. No. Friends and loved ones often get frustrated or do not understand why a person cannot just, hey man, let's move on already. Like, snap out of it already. They may even say that the person has nothing to be depressed about. Like, you're so lucky. You have food, you have clothing, you have shelter. Why are you not grateful? Like I said, depression is a real mental illness. Those who live with depression cannot simply decide to stop feeling depressed, okay? But the good news is, there are also things you can do at home to help improve depression symptoms, including, number 1, practicing self-care. Like, get regular exercise, meditate, walk around, do some yoga. These things work. Number 2, get quality sleep. Not too little, not too much. Number 3, eat a healthy diet. What you eat is going to show on your physical health. Your mental health will suffer if you don't feel your best. Avoid alcohol because it is a depressant. And then spend some time with people you care about. Manage stress with healthy coping mechanisms. That is key. But if one fails to manage depression, you're going to notice that this is where now suicide comes in. Most people who have depression do not attempt suicide. I want you to note that. But depression is linked to a greater risk of suicide. Suicide is the second leading cause of death in youth ages, 10 to 24 years old. Research shows that more than 95% of people who kill themselves have suffered depression. Now, many different factors can contribute to suicidal ideation, and often these thoughts strike when you're feeling hopeless and out of control in your life, or like you feel like your life has no meaning or purpose. Now, that is when most people start to think about suicide. Strictly speaking, suicidal ideation refers to thoughts, ideating of suicide or taking your own life. However, there are two kinds of suicidal ideation. We have passive and active. Passive suicidal ideation occurs when you wish you were dead or that you could just die, but you do not formulate a plan to die by suicide. Now, that's passive. And then active suicidal ideation, on the other hand, is not only thinking about it, but having the intent to die by suicide, including planning how to do it. Now, that's active. It's also very important to note that suicidal thoughts fluctuate. Okay, they are known to wax and wane, which means that thoughts may be specific, intense, and persistent one day, and the next, they could be more vague and occur less frequently. Let's talk about a few signs and symptoms of suicidal ideation. Warning signs that you or your loved one are thinking about or contemplating suicide include: number one, isolating yourself from your loved ones. Number two, feeling hopeless or trapped, talking about death or suicide, giving away possessions, an increase in substance use or misuse, increased mood swings, anger, rage, or increased irritability. Now, engaging in risk-taking behavior is also another sign that you'd like to pay attention to, like using drugs, having unprotected sex, not caring what happens to you. You're into the YOLO mode. And then there is accessing the means to kill yourself, such as medication, drugs, or even getting a firearm. And then we have people who act as if they are saying goodbye to people. I don't know if you've seen such people. Like, they'll make statements as if, this is it. Like, and anytime now I'm going. And then we have people who are feeling extremely anxious. Pay attention to that. People all of a sudden start to come off weird. Like, they're walking on eggshells, like easily triggered. Now, I need you to understand that these are different for everyone. The signs and symptoms, they vary. Now, allow me to talk about kindness. Please check on your always happy friend. You know those ones? Always happy. Pictures are always, she's bubbly. She's out today, out the next day. Check on them. Check on your quiet relative. You know, the one you never hear from unless there is a party or something. Check on that relative. Please check on the strong, resilient friend. Yes. You know that friend who seems to handle everything so well? Please check on them. Because it is easy to think that people are happier than you because they seem to constantly have a smile on their face. They're the ones that they don't want anyone to know that they're feeling down. Those are the ones. The truth is, everyone is fighting a silent battle that you know nothing about. Everyone is healing from things that they don't speak about. Be kind. The Prophet ﷺ said that kindness is a mark of faith in Islam, and whoever is not kind has no faith. And whoever is kind and easygoing, Allah will forbid him from entering hellfire. Let this motivate you to check in on people, your friends, your relatives. You will not make things worse by showing someone that you care or asking them about suicide, especially the ones that are depressed or the ones that have showed signs of suicidal ideation. Them hearing words like, I am here for you, I notice you, you matter, I want to help. These words actually do help. Listen. A suicidal person usually is carrying around some burden that they feel they just can't handle anymore. Okay? Please offer to listen as they share their feelings of despair, anger, and loneliness. Sometimes this is enough to lighten the load, just enough for them to carry on. Be sympathetic, non-judgmental, patient, calm, accepting. The person will pick up on your attitude and begin to mirror it for themselves. Keep your questions free of judgment and focus on your observations on symptoms that you have noticed. You don't need to be a mental health expert to be helpful. No. If they do share that there is a problem, thank them for their courage and reassure them that you are there to help. You are there to listen. You are there to hold their hand. If their response seems unmanageable for you, then you can seek professional help. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.